In the previous video, I started to find products for Amazon dropshipping, and the products are coming from Zoro, from this Georgia Pacific brand. And then what I did is I actually used the Amazon Sourcer, which is a Google sheet that will automatically search the product titles and find potential supplier links. So what I did, I'll just recap it really quickly, is I went to Amazon and I actually searched the Georgia Pacific brand, which is a brand that I found on Zoro, that brand that is sold on Zoro. And I then used a free Chrome extension to scrape the products from the Amazon page, the Georgia Pacific results. I brought them into this Google Sheet, and the Google Sheet then found some Zoro links or Zoro URLs for these different Amazon products. So using generate product list, I then was able to start to create a products list where we can actually look at the individual sources for all of these different ASINs and compare them side by side and even calculate the profitability, since I was also able to extract the prices from Zoro using get data, which is a function that extracts the prices, in this case from Zoro.com. So doing all of that, I'm at the point where I actually have a list of products that I can begin to browse to see if I can find some profitable product matches. Now, one thing I need to do, in the previous video, I actually started this sourcing process, but I did not finish it. Google Sheets has a limit on how long it will run these macros. And so what happens is that the macro will run to a certain point and then just stop after a certain amount of time. In this case, it stopped at row 80. So what I want to do here is use Amazon Scraper Sourcer menu again and continue sourcing. Continue sourcing will automatically continue from wherever it left off. You don't have to tell it where to continue. All right, you can go up here if you want and just go Amazon Scraper, continue sourcing, and it will just go ahead and continue from where it left off, which is the last row. Because it knows that the last row was 80, it should continue from there. Right, so there we have it, 81, 82, so on and so forth. It will just continue trying to find sources from that point. And as I pointed out in the previous video, some of these aren't really good Amazon products, as you can see, because some don't have ASINs. So generally, the ones that actually have an ASIN, you will more expect to get some results from the ones that are actually ASINs. Right, and again, it's just going to run and collect these Zoro results, and I will just let that keep going, and that will give me a lot more potential products. Now the thing is, if you're doing like a really long product list, like 10,000 products or something, you don't want to have to keep coming back to continue. So for that, you can use the option of automate continue. I'm going to keep it simple for this video. I'll just say that you can go to Amazon Scraper, automate continue sourcing. That's going to set it to keep sourcing every 30 minutes. So when this one stops 30 minutes from now, it will continue again to try to find more sources. I'm going to keep it there for this video and just keep it that simple. But you do eventually have to go to triggers, and you can delete the trigger. And perhaps I can always show you that later. For now, just let the sources run. Now for generate product list, yes, this will also, it's not going to just keep going, right? So I may have to also click generate products list again so that it will continue the list here. All right. So you'll see it continue to build on a list here at the bottom. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start just looking at some of the results that I already have. So here I have Amazon, for instance, and I have the source, and I think I looked at that already. And you can usually see some kind of, you have some kind of preview here. So you can actually kind of see the products. Now I'm going to actually, I just thought about it. You know what? I want to finish explaining, and I want you to understand how things continue. Okay, so before we look at products, I think I really need to do that. So I'm going to go to extensions up here in the menu and then apps script. And then I will click on Amazon Sourcer 1.7. You usually don't have to do that, but it appears I have 2 different files or scripts under this file. But then you'll go to triggers. And so up here you'll see all the code and stuff I wrote here. But if you go to triggers, you should see continue sourcing. This is the automatic continue sourcing that I just set up. If you click the edit button, you'll see it's going to continue sourcing see that time driven minutes every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes it's going to keep trying to continue sourcing. Right? You've got to keep it spread out like that to give it time to finish, because we don't know how long it's really going to keep running, and we don't want to run 2 at a time. So we let one finish and then 30 minutes, so, keeps a little space, right? Okay. And so again, that's for if you have like a very large number of products and you don't want to have to keep going back here to continue. Now for generate products list, you can do something similar. Okay, but I did not put an option on the menu for it. I rather you come here, just as I showed you before. But now I want you to manually add a trigger. In case you missed it, here's the button in the lower right hand corner, and you will select the macro here. The macro is generate products list. You'll find it, and I know there's a lot here. This is why I like to capitalize these macros. It makes it a bit easier to find them. See, generate product list is in the middle, and then time driven and minutes and 30. Always use 30 minutes because from my experience they never run more than 30 minutes. So that way you just let it run for up to 30 minutes at a time, and then the next one will start. Okay, so 30 minutes from the time I just set this, it will run again. And then 30 minutes after that, it will run again. Every 30 minutes, it will keep running, okay? And then eventually, at some point in the future, when you've completely finished a list, you can come here and just delete these triggers using the options buttons here, the 3 buttons, and just delete the triggers, all right? Because you don't want them to go on forever. So when you're ready to start a new list, you can just start over. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's it. I mean, that's how you keep the whole process rolling on its own. Okay, sourcing and building the products list. Now, what I'm going to do here is, just for a moment, I'm going to remove the filter because I want to see how far I got with this. Okay, now with the prices, it's a similar thing. I have something similar here with get data. Okay, I used get data in the previous video. I selected the whole range and I went to get data, and then I went to, well, first of all, I showed you how to set up the columns first, if you saw the previous video, for prices, and then I went to extract range, right? So what I'm going to do now is get data, auto continue extracting. Okay, so that in the future it will just keep doing it. But actually, I'm sorry if this all seems very complicated. It's really not. It's just that you have to learn each of these things. Okay, so I'll have like the separate modules where you can just focus on each separate thing, but for this video I'm just kind of running everything through, so just kind of bear with me, just kind of run through it, and then you can go back, download this, and take your time. But basically, okay, first of all, I already used extract range in the previous video. Let me say it like this, to do this whole range. It stopped because that's the way Google Sheets works. It stops eventually. So now what I have to do is get data, continue extracting range, just like I did continue sourcing. And it should continue from where it left off. So I'll just watch and see if it begins to find prices. And it should continue from where it left off, hopefully, and begin to find some prices. And now that that's running, because for the same reason I mentioned before, in case you have a large number of products, I'm going to also do auto continue, and that will automatically continue to keep extracting. Okay, so we'll leave that, and I'll see if it's actually doing it. Okay, let's see. So let me see. I don't see it filling in prices here. What I don't remember, believe it or not, because I actually haven't used, I haven't been using get data in this fashion for a long time. So, what I don't remember if I did is when I use, continue, does it automatically, continue the entire selection? Because in the previous video, I had already selected this. Let me see. This is the thing I don't remember. So I'm going to select the whole range and then continue extracting range. See if it will continue. But I don't think so. Okay, because I don't see it continuing from where it left off. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and highlight. I'll just go ahead and highlight the range. If all that sounded complicated, don't worry. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and manually highlight the range that I want to extract. Okay, just scrolling up and down so you can see it. And then I'll do get data, extract range, and I'll just extract the prices. Yeah, so now it's working. See, so the continue extracting did not remember where to pick up from. That I had already, highlighted this whole thing. And because I stopped that video and I'm coming back at a later point, I don't remember exactly what I did. So the best thing I could do here was just highlight the range and then extract range. Okay, and we see it filling in. Now, once these prices fill in, we get these profit calculations over here immediately, right? Now, it does not consider shipping, and that is kind of an issue. With Zoro, the situation is that with Zoro, right, in general, you've got this $5 shipping, okay? And it says, I believe, and I haven't used Zoro for a long time, free shipping on orders over $50 after you sign in. Okay, and I'm not signed in right now. So, so anyway, you'll get free shipping over 50, so this is something to consider. Now, if you want to get kind of advanced, you could set up a function. You could do like an if statement here. So, right? So I'm going to use equal if, open parentheses, for the shipping. And I'll say if the source price, J3, I just clicked on it, is greater than, that's the condition. If it's greater than 50, comma, then the shipping is going to be 0. Free shipping over 50. Okay, free shipping. Otherwise, that's what happens when it's true. Then we have value of false. It's going to be 5. Okay, I'm going to assume a $5 flat shipping, and autofill will automatically fill in that formula. In this case, I will check it off. Okay, and so it will take the source price. If it's over 50, shipping is free. Otherwise, the shipping is $5. So with that if statement, I'm able to calculate my cost more accurately. I'm assuming I'm adding a 10% tax. You can always change this number to a different tax if you want. But for drop shipping, I'm trying to go with a higher, a high tax, like the higher end of the tax, right? To cover my basis of, cost. Okay, cover the range of cost. Okay, so now over here I've got some green profits. What I'm going to do, and I see that I did have a formula here for source that, okay, there's a reason why I'll just copy and, okay, yeah. When you download a copy from me, this part should already be filled in with the sources and all that, all right? That's just some kind of accident that happened where I must have deleted some of it somehow. And not sure what this is here at the bottom either. Okay, not sure how that got down there. Okay, let's go back up to the top. All right, so now, finally, I've got Amazon links, I've got sources, and I've got, profit reports here. Now, as I said before, matches are not necessarily always going to be perfect matches. Sometimes they might be close matches. Sometimes they might, it just, it varies. But these two look, let's see what we've got on Amazon. It looks like I had another one going here before. Yes, in the previous video, I believe I had. Okay, so I'm going to close down whatever I had in the previous video and just focus on some new results here. So 73.42 ships from sold by Amazon, right? Pacific Blue, 6 rolls per case. I just want to see what we have here for the source. Is it the same? Is it similar? And okay, so we've got 26,601 on the box. Where here we've got 26,490. So right away, you know, that indicates, you know, a different product, right? Similar, but different. Okay, so that's already a different product. Right, so this is, you know, the manual inspection that we have to do. I'm going to, now, by the way, you can, I have a link where you can literally open up these results that I'm looking at right now. You can open them up. It's going to be just a viewable sheet where you can open it up and you can navigate and click through here and look at these products like I'm doing now. So you can look at the results I had got in this video, okay? The link should be in the description of the video, so you can look at it now if you want. But if you want an actual working copy where you can go do your own research using this system, then you can download the system as well. Okay, actually download it and use it. Okay, download the Google Sheet. All right, so you can do that as well. But if you just want to kind of look at the results and navigate it, you can definitely do that. All right, as well. So now, what I'll do is look at some more, just trying to see what I can kind of find. Something besides the tissue stuff. I mean, I did just see this thing. Okay, I think that was a mismatch though. Let me see if I can go further down and get to like a different kind of product. Sometimes the images are different. Okay, because for instance, okay, let's take a look. All right, of course we know sometimes the images are different. And I mean, if you're experienced with selling, then I mean, you know these things already, but I'm just you might not be, and so it might be good to know these things as well. Sometimes that immediate picture is not always an indication, because you see in this picture, they're showing you a picture of it actually in the dispenser, right? So on Amazon, they're showing the actual tissue itself as the main image, where on Zoro, they're showing you it in the dispenser. Okay, so now we have to look at the other details. First of all, they've got to be the same brand. And then we've got to look at like 28124, 28124. You know, these are probably different, you know. So it looks like a lot of these could come out different. So maybe I chose a tough brand, because if it has a lot of these kind of product tissue, certain types of products, you're more likely to get these kind of matches that are like not exactly the same. Tissue is one of them. Tissue, it's very common to get, you know, same brand but a different like size, different number of rolls. You know, it's very easy to get things that are not like exactly the same when you deal with tissue. So maybe this brand was a tough choice. Let me see what else. Just trying to see if I see anything, but everything is pretty much tissue. I guess, yeah. I suppose that is the main product Georgia Pacific makes. Anything that has to do with paper, tissue, bathroom stuff. Just trying to see if I can find some other like type of product. I don't know what this is. Okay, the Amazon's not giving me a preview. And Torque septic safe toilet paper, white, 100% recycled 2-ply, 500 sheets per roll, 96 rolls, and then we have this, which is not really. Yeah, these are not the same. Okay, so I mean, it takes time. It can, depending on the results, this could take some time, of course. All right, and really, this process of using Google Sheet, it saves you time of maybe perhaps manually looking things up, but the manual inspection and of course pulling the prices and things like that. But you don't really get away from the manual inspection process with this, right? You still, will spend considerable time clicking and looking at things. Now, it is possible to use some kind of AI to compare images, but unfortunately, AI credits are not like unlimited. Like you could install ChatGPT onto Google Sheets. I did that, but it's not unlimited. They will eventually stop and say you've got to buy credits or whatever. So otherwise we could, pull some images, and then have it compare images and things like that, but it would not be unlimited. Let me take a look at this over here. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Pacific Blue Ultra 9-inch mini automatic paper towel dispenser. And then I'll check the source. See what I've got. Okay, G86. I don't know if there's like a 545. Yeah, I don't, let's see. Yeah, not exactly the same. Now, I can't say anything for sure until I've looked really at every product. However, if I'm in general, depending on how much, on the time you have and what your goals are, and whether you're actually the person selling these products or whether you're someone who works for someone trying to find products, and I don't know, there's a lot of other things that go into how much time you're willing to spend on one specific brand. But sometimes, if you find that you're going through so many products and just having such a tough time with matches on a particular brand, it is possible that somehow the products that come up for that brand are just, for whatever reason, you're just hard to find matches for. And maybe not in general, maybe not manually, but maybe just for this Google Sheet, it's hard for it to find the matches. That's possible. So this is something always to consider, that, so sometimes you may have to just try another brand and see what happens instead. That's always an option. But basically, that is the process. What I demonstrated is the process of actually getting to this point of having a product list that you can work with. And yeah, so you definitely want to try some different brands, as I was just saying, and see how that would work out. There are also way more products here that I haven't scraped yet. But yeah, so that's really it. That's the process. You go to the supplier, you find a brand, you search that brand on Amazon. You scrape those products you bring the products into the Google Sheet. It finds sources, it finds prices, and you pretty much compare the products on product list. But here's the thing. This is just that's just one approach. And I just want to make it clear that the method of actually searching the supplier and going on Amazon, right, that's separate from the Google Sheet. That's actually just this is manual product research, and so that's just the manual method that's being used here. The Google Sheet is there just to kind of help and actually, not preventing you from having to physically visit each product and then look it up. All right, and that's really what helps you with. But how you start out and approach the process makes a big difference. So, for instance, choosing the brand you choose makes a big difference, right? If you choose a brand that just for some reason it matches more easily back to Zoro from Amazon, then you're going to get better results more quickly. So, if you're just kind of randomly choosing brands like I'm doing, you kind of don't know what you're going to get. And so this is part of the process. So you might, I did Georgia Pacific, and maybe it's just a tough one. Maybe if I choose Dawn, it might be better. Maybe if I choose some other brand, whatever. Just any of these brands or any brand that's down here, maybe I'll just get different results. And then there's also the fact that you can go to Zoro and do it by category. like go to a category, and then you can use another spreadsheet I have called the Amazon Matcher, as I was doing here in another video with Chewy, and that will take the product title and search it, and then try to find the URL on Amazon. Go in the other direction. And so really, there's a number of different options you can use. This was just one particular way of doing it, with the brand from Zoro onto Amazon and then using the Amazon sourcer. But anyway, if you want to look into the results I got that came out from this sheet on this particular brand, check the description of the video. And actually, other results will also be there as well. I have a list, products, brands, suppliers, different lists in a Google Sheet. You click into that Google Sheet, and then you'll have links. Okay, you have little information on there and some different links that you can open to different product lists that you can check out. And then also, if you want to download anything, you can download this sheet and just whatever else is there. So just check the description. It's too much for me to say all here right now, but just check the description of the video for any links. I'm Mr. Mark. I hope you find this helpful. I hope that you can work through this process and figure it out, and that in some way it can help you in whatever it is that you're doing concerning Amazon dropshipping and product research. I'm Mr. Mark, and I'll see you around in another video.